$23 billion. That's what data centers added to electricity bills across 13 states, according to the market's own referee. And here's the problem with that sentence. A research paper published the same month found that data centers cut American electricity rates for a decade straight. Both numbers are real, both sources are credible, and which one shows up on your bill comes down to a single question about where you live. A question that, for 65 million Americans, flipped from one answer to the other last year. This is the rare fight where both sides are right, and knowing why is worth about 6 minutes of your time. Start with the up direction. Here's how a server farm in Virginia ends up on a power bill in Ohio. America's largest grid, PJM, 13 states, more than 65 million people, doesn't just buy today's electricity. It runs an auction where power plants promise capacity years ahead, so the grid survives the hottest day of the year. When a wave of data centers enters that forecast, the auction has to lock in far more capacity from the same pool of plants, and scarcity pricing kicks in. PJM's independent market monitor, the referee whose whole job is auditing this market, attributed $23.1 billion of recent auction costs primarily to expected data center demand. And the latest auction didn't just rise, it cleared at the maximum price the rules allow. Those costs don't stay with the data centers. They're spread across every household in the region. That's not a scandal, it's the market working exactly as designed before AI showed up to stress test it. Now the down direction, and it's not a fringe claim. A working paper titled, literally, "Have Data Centers Raised Your Electric Bill?" studied every US state from 2015 to 2024, finding doubling a state's data center capacity caused residential rates to fall about 3.5%. Without the data centers built since 2019, the average household's rate would be roughly 6% higher today. The mechanism is almost embarrassingly simple. The grid's biggest costs are fixed: wires, poles, transformers, paid for whether anyone uses them or not. A giant new customer means those fixed costs get split across more kilowatt hours, and everyone's slice shrinks. For a decade, data centers were quietly soaking up grid capacity America had already built and already paid for. One honest caveat on screen: it's a working paper from an industry-funded institute. But the causal method is real, and outlets from marketplace to the utility trade press covered it straight. So hold both numbers. They're about to turn out to be the same story. Here's the reconciliation. Through 2024, most of the American grid had slack capacity built decades ago, waiting for demand that flatlined in the 2010s. Data centers filled that slack, and filling slack makes everyone's average bill cheaper. But slack runs out. The moment forecast demand outruns the existing supply of power plants, the exact same data center stops spreading fixed costs and starts triggering scarcity prices in the capacity auction. Same customer, opposite effect, the sign flips. That's why the referee's 23 billion and the study's minus 3.5% don't contradict each other. One measured the decade the grid had room. The other is measuring the moment it ran out, starting in PJM, where data center growth is most concentrated. Goldman Sachs now expects consumer electricity prices up about 6% into 2027 from all drivers, not just AI. Even the authors of the Rates Fell study say their effect may not survive this demand wave. If this channel has one recurring lesson, it's the closing line of our AI pricing video. Check the date on your numbers. An AI cost figure from 2023 was off by 100x within 16 months. A power bill study ending in 2024 can already be pointing the wrong way. Numbers don't lie, but they do expire. So, is AI raising my power bill? Turns out to be the wrong question. The right question. Does my region still have spare grid capacity? Where it does, data centers have quietly been subsidizing your rate for years. Where it doesn't, like the 13 PJM states right now, they're the single biggest driver of increases on the referee's own numbers. Blaming AI everywhere gets the last decade wrong. Excusing it everywhere gets the next 3 years wrong. Your bill is a supply question, not a technology question. And supply is the fixable kind of problem. Power plants and transmission lines, not a mystery. If you want the real numbers behind a headline before you argue about it, that's this channel. Named sources, real figures, both sides when both sides have data. Save this one and tell me in the comments which everyone knows number you want checked next.